Hey friends, it's me, Christiana Gaudette. I am live on YouTube. I am your Tarot Fairy Godmother. It's Thursday. That means it's time for the Tarot Topics Weekly Newsletter recap. And of course, I am simulcasting on Instagram. I want to remind all of you that we have Global Tarot Circle tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The link is already up. Join us for an hour with your tarot friends around the world. We will read for each other and then do some tarot discussion and study. As we get started, I want to say thank you to Michelle Mixu here for the super sticker. I've been thinking about you. Did you go to your festival? Did your leg heal in time? Tell us everything we want to know. And thank you for the good wishes for the babies. That's all it takes to get the grandchildren report. Here it is. They're both up to 5 pounds. I think they're a little over 5 pounds now. They're doing well. Elliot just had his second pediatrician appointment and is still doing great. Aubrey is still in the NICU, but is, she just has that thing where she still needs to sometimes stop forgetting that you have to breathe all the time. And so until she does that, she's going to stay in the safety of the NICU, but she's doing fine. And that's considered normal for preemies at this stage. So all is well, and we appreciate your continued good wishes and prayers and candles and all of that good stuff. All right, so did you get the Tarot Topics Weekly Newsletter in your inbox yesterday? If you did not, you can read it on my website. The link is right in the description. And you can always subscribe so you do get the Tarot Topics Weekly Newsletter. Every week we talk about a new thing. And this week the topic was allowing happiness. It has become very clear to me, and if you're a reader yourself, you know this, you talk to people a lot, right? And so you can learn a lot about how people are just looking and seeing how they show up in the cards. And sometimes people need to give themselves permission to be happy. Sometimes we do not allow our own happiness. We feel guilty about being happy. We feel guilty about being happy in general. We feel guilty about being happy under certain circumstances. We feel guilty about being happy about a particular thing. Sometimes things aren't going the way we wanted them to go, and we're like, well, this isn't what I ordered. How can I be happy with this? And we have to allow our happiness. So that's what this week's newsletter is about. I think it's really kind of a profound thought that we don't talk about enough. And I want to do reading. I want to do readings about this. I want to do readings on the ways in which you're not allowing your happiness, what you can do to allow your happiness. That's what I want to talk about today. And as we get going, of course, I want to say thank you so much to my good friend and our channel member, Katie Kondo, for the super sticker. Really appreciate it. I also want to remind all of you that Starcon tickets are on sale now. You can get your Starcon tickets. If you're coming in person, you can get your hotel room. You don't have to pay for the hotel room until you arrive, but you should reserve it because there's a limited number. And you can come to Starcon in person or online. Tickets are all available. And again, that is right in the description here. And if you are joining us on Instagram, hang out with us here or come on over to YouTube. And my goodness, we have a brand new member. Oh my goodness, that is so wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to try this. Is it Chiquita Lovify? Chiquita Lovify. Did I get it? It took me a minute, but I think I did. And so happy that we got you. Thanks for becoming a member. Thanks for being here today. Really appreciate that. And new members and all members, if you go to the members only playlist, you will find a lot of stuff that I think you'll really enjoy. And remember that we have a members only live stream coming up. So make sure you set the reminder for that. Again, you'll find that in the members only playlist. All right. You can see today that I am working with my Spiral Tarot, one of my favorite decks. We will do readings in the order that I see them. And let's get going. All right. So the first question I see is, White Magic Witch, can I know if I'm ever going to be happy? So, and that is like the whole thing as well. I mean, at the end of the day, you'll be happy when you allow yourself to be happy. And I think the question is, why are you not allowing yourself to be happy right now? And the answer to that question is because there are things that are not going the way you want them to go. And that makes it hard to be happy. And I think you can be proactive at working toward what you want. You can hold space for your hurt or anger or disappointment, and there is still room for happiness. I think that's something we all need to know. This is not just for you, White Magic Witch, it's for all of us. We need to recognize that we are complex individuals, and that means that we have room to be angry, sorrowful, proactive toward our goals, and happy with where we're at, all at the same time. And that's what's showing up in the cards for you, White Magic Witch, about what you need to practice. But I think we all need to practice that. Okay, now, Julie Rogan, I want to thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to doing that reading. Thank you. The next, let me just say hi to Von Ray, Teresa Chase, and Smile Soul 20. Thanks for being here, and thanks for being members. The next request that I see comes from Gemini Sun. What do the cards say I can do in order to allow myself the most happiness? My anxiety tries to steal the spotlight. Man, yeah, I think a lot of us can really identify with that anxiety can really get in the way of happiness. So what do you do about that? What do you do to quell the anxiety? I think a lot of your anxiety is around you somehow not being good enough, or you somehow not doing the right thing, or you being afraid that you're missing something. So if you could be kinder to yourself, you would be less anxious. That's what I think. I think you need to cut yourself some slack. And it's like you're never meeting your own expectations. That's the way it shows up to me. There may be some sort of core level self-esteem stuff you got to work on there. And so then what else can you do to allow more happiness? Spending time with people that you care about, delegating responsibilities. Again, recognizing that you don't have to do everything. You don't have to be everything for everybody all of the time. And I think if you could do that, you would allow more happiness in your life. Hey, Febborn, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member here. We appreciate you. Can Spirit tell me why I'm a reject? So I think this does sort of play into our topic, and I'm so sorry you're feeling that way. And this does play into our topic because it's hard to allow ourselves happiness when we're feeling rejected. And so, what can Spirit say about why you're feeling rejected? The thing is, this is, I think, in a way, how you're processing it. You have a lot of love in your life and in your heart, and you are very well loved. And I think you do not always put yourself where you need to be. You do not always put yourself with the right community or with the right people to really feel that. I think you have had, as many of us have had, some disappointments and hurts when it comes to love and romance. But man, that's a lot of people. That's not just you. That's something that happens in life. And in a lot of ways, it's sort of luck of the draw in some ways. And we can't always control how that happens. We can only control how we deal with it. So how can you, Febborn, allow more happiness in your life? Your writing is so important. I think you need to do your writing. I think you need to get about the business of meeting interesting men. You need to get about the business of being the community leader that you can be, and being out in the community and finding the communities that are appropriate for you, that work for you. Those things. Hey, Mediha Ness, so nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for asking about the babies who are very well, clocking in, both of them now at 5 pounds. Considering they were both under 4 pounds when they were born, it's a great thing. All right, Clumsy Clairvoyance, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member here. You're the next question I see. How can I bring more happiness to others? Well, that's an interesting question. Through your words and your acts of service, you are very good in the digital world. You are very good online. You are very good with writing and speaking. And the more that you do that, the more you bring happiness to yourself and to others. You bring a lot of happiness to us by time stamping our live stream video classes. So appreciated. Okay, Mediha Ness. How can I get over inner and outer happiness blocks? All right, let's take a look. What are your inner blocks to happiness? You have an inner voice. It may come from your mother, it may come from ancestry, it may come from your anxiety, it may come from you yourself, but you have an inner voice that scolds you for being happy. You know, I really sort of believe that happiness at the end of the day is the goal. Like that is the goal to spiritual enlightenment, is how to be happy in such an imperfect world. How can we do that? When we do that, I think we serve God's purpose. However you see that, I really do believe that. So you have to give yourself permission. You know, I wrote this for you, apparently. You've got this inner voice in your head that doesn't allow yourself happiness. Now, outer happiness blocks, these might be the things that are not as within your control, the things in your life that sort of cause the ups and downs in your life. But the thing is, you are a person who has nice people around you. You are a person who has a really good heart. You are a person who has nice connections with others. And I think sometimes you are blocked from happiness when the people around you aren't having a good time, or if the people around you aren't available to you. I think you may depend too much on people around you, needing them to be happy before you can be happy. And so maybe you need to give yourself permission to be happy whether or not the people around you are. Try that. Hey, Karen Winkle, nice to see you. Thanks for being a member, and thanks for using a members only emoji. What area of my life could benefit most from giving myself more permission to be happy? Good question. You know, I want to say family. I want to say family life in terms of marriage, in terms of kids, in terms of grandkids. And sometimes that's about being happy even when your kids aren't happy. I had someone say to me recently, you're only as happy as your least happiest kid. And I can see how that's true, but I'm not sure it should be true. So giving yourself to be permission even if your kids are struggling. Giving yourself to be permission even if you're not getting along with your kids. And finding the right balance in your marriage. I think those things. Okay, Mix You Ear, thank you so much again for the super sticker. Nice to see you. This topic, right? What's blocking me from happiness? How can I unblock myself from happiness? I'm in therapy. I'm on meds. I'm doing what I can do medically. And hallelujah. And everyone lend an ear to that because those things really can help. You know, they really can. And the thing is, and I'm saying this not just to you, Mix Ear, but to everyone. Therapy, good. Meds, good. These things can help. But if it's not the right therapist, you need a new therapist. If it's not the right meds, you need to try different meds. And I'm not saying that that's what I'm seeing for you, Michelle. I'm just saying, you know, I think sometimes we just sort of be, okay, therapy check, meds check, and those particular things, like we're in the right church, but we're not sitting in the right pew yet. And I'm not saying that's what I'm seeing for you. I just want to point out that can be a thing for all of us. Looking for you. What is blocking you from happiness? Your own lack of confidence in yourself, your own lack of comfort in your own skin, You need to feel safe and secure and comfortable being who you are. Do that, and everything else will fall into place. Promise. Promise. And if you feel like, well, I am, then you have to say, good, but look at the ways you're not. Because you might be at many levels, but at some level you're not. And that is a thing that's like an onion. It happens in a lot of layers. Okay, Nalini Kalu, nice to see you. Thanks for being a member here. I'm working on self-love and personal improvement. I get in my own way by overthinking. Yeah, a lot of us do. What advice does my spirit team have that will allow happiness to flow easily? Great question. Honestly, the more that you can be creative and the more that you can feel like you're on the right track work-wise and financially, the better you're going to be. So putting your energy into those things will allow you more happiness. And I know that's what you're doing. And I think you have to trust yourself there as well. A new chattery, Karen Hendershot. Nice to see both of you here today. Katie, once again, thank you for the super sticker. Febborn loves Aubrey's name. I know, right? Such a great name. When they were considering the names, before the babies were born, they'd list some names they were considering. And when Aubrey came up, of course, I had to send them a link to the Bread song. Like, if you name your daughter Aubrey, this is her song, right? From the 70s. People my age will remember this. And they were like, that's not a bad song. Okay, cool. All right. Pamela's Insight, nice to see you. What do I need to know about my happiness journey and the best way to embody and implement that information? Very good, good question. Let me just get the scroll here. Oh my goodness, now I have over-scrolled. Here we go, perfect, okay. All right. You are on the right path. Pamela's Insight. You are on the right path. You are doing all the right things. And you know, one of the great things about meeting together the way we do here in this community is that some of you who are really good at showing up, and I appreciate that, we can see, you know, I've been pulling cards for you a few times a week for weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months now. We can see the growth. It's evidential. One of the things I love about tarot too. And so we know that you're doing all the right stuff. You just have to keep on the track you're on and don't give up when it gets difficult. And if you backslide and have a bad day, that's okay. Don't be hard on yourself. And recognize that after you work on your own stuff, you also have to do ancestral work. And there's a lot of ancestral work there to do. And there's abandonment issues there to work on. So you just got to keep working on the stuff. And I know you can say, man, I feel like I've been working on my stuff for so long, but you're doing it and it's happening and we can see it. So you see it too and be proud of that. Hey, Marion K. Taro, nice to see you. Glad you liked the newsletter. Leslie Jones, nice to see you. How can I allow happiness in my life during this healing phase? It seems so distant in these gloomy days, and I get that. And one of the important things is you have to hold space for your grief, but there has to be this agreement that you're holding space for your grief, but you're not going to live there. And I get that. I get that. So how can you allow happiness during this time in tiny little moments? It's going to be just tiny, tiny little moments, a funny joke that makes you laugh, a nice day where you feel the sun on your face and you're like, that feels good. You know, something fun you see on the internet or on TV. It's going to be in tiny, tiny little moments. Acknowledge the little moments. And so it may be a second of happiness and an hour of grief, but acknowledge that second of happiness and they will grow. Martha Vink, nice to see you. In what ways am I blocking happiness in my relationship with my significant other? What a great question. Y'all have been together for a while now. You know, I think you've done a good job hanging in there. In a weird way, Martha, being partnered is not your natural state for whatever reason. And you've done a good job letting go of the anxieties, the worries, the fears, the upset, the always trying to balance it, the always trying to make it right. You've let go of a lot and really tried to show up and be vulnerable and be present. And that's what you got to do. And like, you're such a good friend. And you're so good at showing up for friends. But as soon as romance comes into it, it gets weird for you. Maybe remember that your partner is your friend. And that you have a nice connection. And you do have to be patient with you and with her. Because, we all have our quirks and we all have our idiosyncrasies. And you have a hard time being patient with your own quirks. So then being patient with another person's quirks is hard too. But I think you're working on it and I think you're doing it. It's always a work in progress, right? Raquel Revelta, Art and More, thank you for being here. I'm currently on our road trip. Very good. How can I best allow happiness to flow into my life without being worried that it will upset others, right? Well, I think you have to ask yourself, if others are upset by my happiness, what the heck is up by that? What the heck is up with that? And why am I even worried about it? I mean, that's a question you really have to ask yourself. And yeah, this is something, this might be cultural. It might be something you were raised with, that you're responsible for everyone else's happiness and you can't be happy until they're all happy. Boxes all checked. Screw that. It's more like the airplane where you got to put the oxygen mask on yourself first. And if people are not responding well to your happiness, you got to wonder what's wrong with them. Allie Mammon, nice to see you. Thanks for the nice words about the babies. Am I not allowing happiness into my life since over 2 weeks ago I was given the green light to follow my dream career? Right. Sometimes when things are going well is when we will not allow happiness because we don't want to jinx it or we don't want to get our hopes up, right? So what to do with all of that? Yeah, I feel like you're going forward with one foot and pumping the brakes with the other. My friend, you just got to go for it. Just go for it and let it go. And let's not, this whole thing of like dream career puts a lot of pressure on things. That's very much like when you meet someone and you've been dating them for 2 weeks and you're like, I know you're the one. Puts a lot of pressure on things. Let's just call this the career you've always wanted and be excited for the opportunity and go forward. Stop putting so much pressure on it. I think it'll go better. All right, Julie Rogan, thanks for being a member here. Thank you for the super chat. I have been contemplating my true life purpose and thinking about a late life career change. Which direction would bring me the most happiness? Great question. And late in life career changes are hard, right? Is that really? It's worth contemplating though, because your current job, your current career is driving you nuts. And I think you're onto something here. Now, is it a job change or is it a whole career change? I think it's a whole career change, a whole field change. Do you have skills that could take you into a different field? You do, but you really have to think about it. You have to think about how your skills can morph into a different field. And so I think what you have to do, I can't tell you exactly which direction, but think about this. Think about the skills you have and what they could morph into and that you really do want change. And recognize that this is possible and it really would make you happy. So consider those things. Lydia Mephistopheles, nice to see you. How can me and my partner allow more happiness in our relationship when we reunite? And the answer is, remember the things about each other that you care about. The reasons that you first got together, remember those things. But do not let other unpleasant things that maybe have gotten in the way get in the way. Focus on, remember why you love each other. That's the important thing. Aria Wilson, nice to see you. How can I be happy in general? It's a legit question. Okay. Arya Wilson. And if you're joining us on Instagram, feel free to come on over and join us on YouTube. Christiana Gaudet Tarot on YouTube. Today we're talking about allowing happiness. All righty. Arya Wilson. Hey, Bigot Windmill. Nice to see you. Looking forward to seeing you at Starcon. Yay. Okay. Arya Wilson. How can I be happy in general? By pursuing, it's like in the U.S. Constitution or the Declaration of Independence or whatever that is that says the pursuit of happiness. It doesn't say we have a right to happiness. It says we have a right to the pursuit of happiness. Arya Wilson, you need to think about what you want in life and how you're going to pursue it. And in the process of that pursuit, you'll find happiness. Marion K. Tara, what do I need to do in order to continue being happy? Recognize that you deserve all good things, Marion. And I know when we talk about this culturally, this is like a very American thing. Americans are like in some cases, toxically individualistic and toxically into like our rights and what we deserve. But I think y'all there in Scotland might maybe need just a touch of that to recognize that you, Marion, deserve good things, that you can do good things, that you can have good things, and why the heck not? So let me just give a little bit of that Americanism to you. Von Ray, thanks for being a member here. Thanks for using a members only emoji. My overthinking throws me off sometimes. What can I do to stop it and be more happy? Man, if we could bottle how to stop overthinking in a way that isn't bad for you or addictive, we could make so much money. All right. What can I do to stop overthinking? Focus on the task at hand. Focus on the task at hand. Just focus on what you're doing and put your focus there rather than all that other stuff, and you will be happier. Okay, Chara Sotomayor, nice to see you. Thanks for being a member here. Karen Hendershot, this is a great question. Am I blocking my happiness or allowing it by maintaining my current romantic relationship? And I know a little bit about this story, so this is a very interesting question. We know the ways in which it might help you. We know the ways in which it might hurt you. Which is greater, man? That's an interesting question. It's both. It's both. The bottom line is, Karen, right now it is making you happy, and it is at least opening you up to the idea of love. At the end of the day, it's probably going nowhere, and it's got a shelf life, and that's hard. But I think you're holding space for that okay right now. So I think for right now, it's all right. Katie Kondo, thank you for being here. Thanks for being a member. And thank you so much for the super sticker. Whatever comes up, please. How am I blocking and what can I do about it, etc. All the good stuff around your own happiness. Well, you do a damn good job being happy in a difficult circumstance. There's no doubt about it. And the thing is, you really want to help others. Your whole thing, it really does bring you happiness to help others. So everything that you do on a path to helping others brings you happiness. I think you do a great job. I really do. And I think you will continue to do so. Okay. Okay. Hang on. Just finding where I'm supposed to be in the thread. Here we go. Catherine Fan, nice to see you. How can I be more happy? Great question. By recognizing, you have so much love in your heart and you are such a kind person. And you've had to be like very strategic and very scientific and very tough in your work, and you do that very well. But that negates this whole side of you that is really squishy and lovely and loving. You have to find a place to allow all that to come out too. Humor as well. Morgana the Great, nice to see you. What is blocking my happiness? The stories you tell yourself, Morgana. You can be happy, you will be happy. You just have to look at the way your personal narrative does not reflect the truth and does not cast you as the hero of your own story. You may be casting yourself as the villain, the victim, or a supporting character to somebody else. And it's good to be supportive of other people, but you still got to be the main character in your own story. Right? So like that. Okay, Missy Mel, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Is it bad I am happy not talking to most of my family? I have good reason, by the way. And I don't even need the cards for it. I will post some cards, but I'm going to tell you this. More than a quarter of people find that they are best not having relationships with some or all of their biological family. As long as this is something you are not doing out of spite or anger, but doing out of nurturing your own happiness and well-being, it's perfectly okay. It is perfectly okay. What do the cards say? Same. You have to heal your own inner child, of course. And you have to have good supportive friends and chosen family. And you can leave space or not for changing how you feel later on. But do not let anyone say to you, but it's your family. If it doesn't work, you can't make it work if it doesn't work, and that's okay. And you don't even need to make your family members bad in all of this. They are who they are. You are who you are. You have your boundaries, and that's good. Be happy. Minnie W., nice to see you. How can I allow myself to be happy despite other people's opinion? Man, I have an answer to that. And it's not nice, and it doesn't involve the cards, and it does involve a 4-letter word, which I'm not going to use. I'm just going to say F 'em. Seriously, who cares? Who cares? Who cares what other people think? But let's see what the cards say. And the thing is, there are some other people, these might be family members, and they might make their opinion known in a way that makes you feel guilty and bad. You need boundaries. You need to feel strong in yourself. You've been disempowered by people around you. You need to find your power. You need to be strong in yourself. You need to recognize they need you more than you need them. Have boundaries. There's a great series of books called The Gentle Art of Verbal Self-Defense. Find them, seriously. All right. Hey, Caroline, nice to see you. Chara Saddlemeyer, nice to see you. Thanks for being a member here. I feel like I've blocked my happiness through dealing with the loss of my mom. I get it, understood. What can I do change to allow happiness again? Ooh, came up. You have to give yourself time to heal. You have to know that your mom wants you to be happy. And, your own day-to-day life, you're busy. You've got a lot going on, and that's hard too. And you don't always take time for yourself. Take time to do the things that you enjoy. That will help too. And give it time. And I'm going to share something from my own life just because I feel like sharing it. If you have a lot of your mom's things around you, some of those things will bring you comfort. Some of them will just be a constant reminder. Know which is which and put things away accordingly. All right. Hey, Zuri, Yatsuri Shop. Nice to see you. Thanks for being a member. And thanks for being here. And Chiquita Loveify, thank you for being a new member. We'll stop working after 30 years. Take a break to reconnect with myself. Need guidance toward a happy path. You got it. You got it. So the thing is, Not everything is perfect in everyone's life, and not everything is perfect in your life. You need more patience with yourself. You need to know where you're being, other people have heard me say this over at different times, but it comes up for you. You need to know where you're being stubborn and where you're being tenacious. It's good to be tenacious. It's good to stick toward what you want. But sometimes you're stubborn and it doesn't help you. You also need to know, where are you making the best of a situation and that's a good thing? Or where are you gift wrapping a turd? Seriously. So look at the stories you're telling yourself, and how are those stories true and how are they not, and how are you helping yourself and how are you not? It's really all for you about the inner dialogue. Does that make sense? Let me know. Oh, thanks for the nice wishes for the grandbabies, Nalini. Appreciate it. Caroline McLaughlin. I'm generally a happy person, but at times I let self-doubt and self-talk get me down. Does Spirit have any message that I need to address? As long as you can have the self-awareness, journaling might be very helpful for you to help you see it. But if self-talk can get you down, self-talk being positively aware of it, positive self-talk can bring you up. So you know it, so you know what to do about it. Brianna, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Kristen Louise. Oh, how can I be happy in spite of my weight gain? Girl, I think a lot of us are in that boat right now. Over the pandemic, a lot of us have gained weight. I know I have. It's not comfortable, it's not pretty, and it's not coming off easy. And I'm still not comfortable going to the gyms here because it doesn't feel quite safe yet. So man, I feel you. Let's see what the cards say for you. You have to have good boundaries with yourself. Love every inch of yourself. Do what you can to make yourself look and feel good at the size that you are. Feel good about it. And then take positive, proactive steps to address maintaining a healthy weight, but loving yourself at every size you are. You can't hate the weight you're at and lose the weight. This I know. You have to love yourself as you are. Jackie Masters, nice to see you. Thank you so much for being a member here. How can I find my happiness? What is it? Where has it been? And what can I do to celebrate when it's present? It feels normal to feel unhappy. I get it. I think you can have a tendency, Jackie, to worry about every little thing and to let every little thing get to you, and in that to try to control every little thing, and then when you can't control every little thing, to be unhappy. I think you and your inner child need to have a talk. I think you need to play. I think you need to have some fun. And I think you need to not carry the weight of the world around on your shoulders, and you need to not worry about every little thing. That's my guess. Tell me what you think. Okay, hey, Bigot Windmill, you came over. Nice to see you. Glad you're here. Okay, and Bigot Keems Windmill, so happy to see you. And again, so happy you're going to be presenting at Starcon. How can I be happy despite all the burdens I carry? Understood. You have to be present and hold space for the things that are difficult. You can't get away from that, Bigot. You can't. But you have to know that you are big enough to hold space for all things, that you can hold space for the burdens and at the very same time hold space for happiness, that they're not mutually exclusive. That's what you need to know. And also, I'm just saying, things are going to get better. And Caroline, thank you so much for the super sticker. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Jeannie Minutia, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. just scroll there. All right, and those of you joining us on Instagram, thanks for being here. I am live on my YouTube channel, simulcasting on Instagram. We're talking about allowing happiness. And come on over and join us on YouTube, Christiana Gaudet Tarot on YouTube. Okay, Chiquita Lovify, that worked. Okay, very good. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate that. Okay. Jeannie, what can I do to allow more happiness in my life? Jean Mnuchin, thanks for being a member. Honestly, the work you do brings you happiness. And then you overthink it, and then you let go of your happiness. Just do your work. Just do your work. Seriously. All right, Betty Flesher, nice to see you. Thanks for being a member here. This newsletter is hitting home for me this week. Losing my dog this week. I'm so sorry. More like my baby. What can I do to deal with this grief? I am so sorry. My goodness. And I mean, you have to hold space for it. I think you need to do a ritual. You know, you need to do a special ceremony. You need to connect with your pet in spirit. You need to hold space for the grief and be happy that this spirit was in your life. Be happy that this spirit will, in a way, continue to be in your life. And give it time. That's what you have to do. And you have so many good blessings in your life, too. So try to hold space for the gratitude you have there. Yeah, sorry, shop. Gift wrapping a turd. I may steal that line. Right. Jenny, hi. I feel like the roots of my unhappiness is that I don't feel strong on my own, like my own sense of self is not really developed. How can I change that? I think a lot of people are in that position. Absolutely. And I think you hit the nail on the head. I think you really got it. This is exactly right. Your really close friends can help you affirm your sense of self because they see you. And if they see you, they can help you see you, and you have to see you. And you need to do root chakra exercises. If you don't know about the chakras, learn about them. The root chakra, at the very base of the spine, the first chakra connects you to the earth, grounds you to the earth. Meditate, breathe into that chakra, send energy into the earth, ground yourself. Do grounding things like baking bread or gardening, wearing earthy tones, carrying stones that are green and brown. Those things will help you. Yeah, Chara, I did exactly that. And like 5 years after my mother had passed, I'm still like so weighed down by it. And my husband says to me, he's like, well, you are so surrounded. It's like your room is an altar to your mother everywhere you look. So I kept the things that make me smile and everything else is packed away. And I feel better. Hope you will too. Okay. Peggy Lou Levens, this is a great question. Thank you for being a member here. Thanks for using a members only emoji. How can I keep my happiness in a negative home environment and remove anger from myself? Do you. You do you. You work on your things. You tend your own garden. You put up good shields, good boundaries, and don't listen. Don't talk to the person. Even if you're living together, you don't have to interact. So you just do you, and that will feel better. Quinn Kilharius, nice to see you. How can I work with my guides to bring more happiness into my life? Very good. Honestly, a good tool of divination for you, whether it's cards or crystals or pendulum or whatever, if you're doing it, do it more. If you're not doing it, find one that works for you and do that. Absolutely. That will help. That will help your guides. It will bring happiness into your life. It will help your guides, help you, all of it. Jackie, thanks for the feedback. Bianca Tarot, nice to see you. I'm turning 24 this month. Happy birthday. And have been in a space of learning independence and trusting myself more. How can I maintain my happiness while also doing shadow work and healing? I'm going to pull some cards, but I'm going to say by recognizing that you're strong enough and big enough to hold space for all of that the human self is big enough for all of it. And the cards say be patient with the process, and recognize that some days you're not going to feel real happy, and that's okay. Hold space for that too. Don't judge yourself for a bad day, and let a bad day be a day of healing, and let that be okay, and be extra kind to yourself. I feel like you judge yourself a lot. And maybe as you're doing this work, let go of judgment. Just be present for what is. Hey, Kim. So today, thank you for coming over. I saw you there on Instagram. Thanks for being here. We're talking about happiness. So I'm going to find a way to turn your question into a question about happiness. Your business card that you've been working to combine meditation on the same card as a tarot business, will that make you happy? Will that make your clients happy? Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think it's the right thing to do. Graphically, you may not be where you need to be yet, but I think you're getting there. So I think that's good. All right, my friends, this is last call for readings, y'all. If I accidentally missed you, I'm so sorry. Please do reiterate your question. If you're just joining me on Instagram, thank you so much. I'm simulcasting on my YouTube channel, Christiana Gaudet Tarot on YouTube. Join me there if you like. Coming to the end of the broadcast. Last call for readings, y'all. And remember, Global Tarot Circle tonight here on YouTube, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Friends on Instagram, I will not be simulcasting on Instagram tonight because Global Tarot Circle moves too quickly. I will not be able to, I know my brain capacity and I will not have the brain capacity for that. So, friends on Instagram, Christiana Gaudet Tarot on YouTube, 7 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. Come join us. We're going to have a lot of fun. Everyone here, make sure you join us. The link is already up. A last question coming in from Monique. So nice to see you. How can I bring more happiness into my home life? By bringing more happiness and satisfaction into your own life. You can't make the relationships better right now. You can't make other people happier right now. You have to make yourself happier right now, and that will change the energy everywhere. All right, my friends, check out in the description here on YouTube, link to Starcon, link to the newsletter, link to book an appointment with me. And yes, Kim, a thank you sticker is a great idea. I am working on that. Thank you. Really appreciate that. I see another question coming in real quickly. Ultraviolet Morgan Tarot, how can I feel happiness and reclaim my enthusiasm for life? What a great question. You have some things you need to let go of. You are hanging on to some hurts or some lifestyle choices or some narratives or some ways of being or doing that are getting in the way, and you have to figure out what they are and let them go. Leslie Jones, thank you so much for that. Thank you. I'm going to read it aloud. Thank you so much for your advice. Your channel has been essential during this healing process. Thank you, and thank you for being a part of this channel. I appreciate all of you. Remember to like this video. Signing off on Instagram now. And hang on, let me hit all those buttons. And I'll be signing off here. Hope to see you tonight, 7 p.m. Global Tarot Circle. Bring your friends.